Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another interesting edition of Babaenibaba. My name is Babaenibaba, the master storyteller of Nigeria land. Today, I am going to be telling you a very interesting story. So come sit, and let's go through this story together.
Babaenibaba.
People of Okoyong as my own. This is why I cannot stand by and watch this barbaric practice continue, she said, deliberately using strong words to jolt the crowd's conscience. Some of them grasped at our boldness, calling their tradition barbaric. The elder's face turned red with anger. How dare you, he thundered. Anyone who stands in the way of the God's will could be struck down. Even you, Mary, are not immune to our God. We only warn you for your own good. Step aside. He motioned to two younger men, members of the Igbo Society, a sort of traditional community enforcement group, to take the infants. They stepped forward, reluctantly, of course. These young men admired Mary Slessor, but were torn between that respect and obedience to their elder and custom. Before they could reach their teacher, Okon quickly moved beside Mary, joining in shielding Ekanem and the babies. And now, Ubong, seeing Mary and Okon stand up to the elders, fully found his courage again. He stood up on the other side of Mary, his knees still weak, but his resolve strong. It was an extraordinary tableau. An alliance of the local teacher, the foreign missionary, and the father, all defying the decree of the elders. Mary's voice rang out once more, clear and compelling. My friends, do not be afraid. These are not evil spirits. They are innocent children. She turned in a slow circle, addressing not just the elders but all the villagers crowded around. Many villagers had been whispering amongst themselves, uncertain. Mary reached into the well of wisdom she had gathered from both cultures and continued. We all know the proverb that says, a child who is not embraced by the village will one day burn it down to feed its wants. Our use of a local saying caught them off guard. She let that sink in for a moment and then implored, if you cast out these children, if you banish your own flesh and blood, you are lighting a fire of sorrow and guilt that will consume this village, far worse than any curse that you fear. Embrace them now, and as you embrace them, you embrace hope, love, and the future of Okoyong. A few in the crowd nodded or murmured agreement at the proverb. Mary pressed on. She pointed at a cluster of young boys peeking from behind the fathers. Would you kill two of your boys if someone said one had an evil spirit? No. You will protect them. Rain does not fall on one roof alone. The pain of this family will be the pain of all of you. Why make all suffer such pain needlessly? The elders were getting agitated at this point. Another elder, an older woman who was the village soothsayer, stepped forward, rattling a gourd of shells. This is not about us choosing cruelty, she said to Mary Slessor, almost pleading. It is about preventing disaster. The gods, Mary interjected. The gods, softening her tone now. Which gods will destroy a village because two beautiful kids, two adorable, beautiful children were born on the same day? Does that truly sound like a god, or just an old fear, a fable, superstition? She looked around, making eye contact with many. We must not let fear drive us to cruelty. If you fear something, you give it power over you. she added, echoing an African wisdom. Your fear of twins has become a self-made curse. Let it go, and no harm will come to you. I promise you this in the name of the Almighty who sent me here. Ubong, emboldened by Mary's words, spoke up now. He turned to address the villagers, many of whom he had known all his life. His voice trembled but was loud. My friends, you all celebrated with me when we thought it was one child. Will you now turn that celebration into mourning? You know me. Am I cursed? Is Ekanem cursed? No. We have done nothing but suffer and wait patiently for this blessing. Please, do not take our children from us. Help me to protect them. I would rather die than allow anything to come to my children. At this point, Ekanem stepped forward too, shakily from the doorway, and fell to her knees before the elders and the crowd. Still cradling her infant son, of course, she begged to have mercy. Do not make me choose one child to live and another one to die. Which mother could bear such a choice? I would sooner cut my own heart out. Do not punish me so. A wail struck a chord in many hearts present. Women in the crowd openly wept now. Some men looked down at the ground, troubled. The head elder's grip on his staff loosened as he took in the sight. The foreign woman holding the tiny girl, the teacher, the father, and the mother, all united in grief and defiance. This was no ordinary situation. The villager's mood was shifting. He could sense it. The old fear was there, yes, but it was ebbing, challenged by the raw humanity before them and the persuasive words of Mary and Okon. One of the younger chiefs, who had been silent till now, cleared his throat. He addressed the senior man. Perhaps we should consider another way. Maybe the gods, he hesitated, under the elder's hard gaze. But then he finished. Maybe the gods might also show mercy, especially if these children are raised rightly. We have all seen the good works of Mary and Teacher Okon. If they vouch for the safety of the village, well, maybe we can postpone any decisions that we have. We don't want blood on our hands today. The high priest of the village shrine had arrived in the meantime, a feathered staff in his hand. He was a figure of fear himself, often enforcing these twin rituals. He stepped into the fray with authority. I have consulted the gods and the spirits. He lied, for he hadn't had time. But he improvised, seeing the changing tide. They say, if we spare the twins, they must be cleansed and watched. The white ma can take them under her care for a time. If any evil befalls the village in the next few days, then. He didn't finish the threat, but it hung implied. But if not, then truly these children are clean. It was a compromise, perhaps influenced by his own fear of challenging Mary head-on. Mary Slessor quickly nodded. Yes, I will take responsibility for them. Any consequences, put it on me. Teacher Okon added, I and my wife will help care for them too, to assure the community. The head elder looked around and saw more heads nodding in agreement with this plan. The momentum to kill the twins had stalled. The collective will was bending away from bloodshed. He realized pushing further would cause a great conflict within the village, something he, a leader, did not want. And perhaps deep down, he too was tired of the practice of hearing the cries of women like Ekanem. Maybe this was an opportunity to end it without losing face entirely. So he raised his staff again. but this time in a call for calm. Very well, he announced, voice strained. We shall do as the priest says. The infants will be given to Mary Slessor to watch over. We will wait and see if any misfortune comes. If none comes, then perhaps. He trailed off, unable to admit outright that the taboo could be wrong. Instead, he finished. The meeting of the elders is dismissed for now. May the gods guide us. A collective sign of relief seemed to spread through the crowd. Ekanem sobbed, clutching her son and reaching for her daughter, whom Mary gently placed back in her hands. Mary kept an arm around Ekanem, who was too weak to stand up, alone by herself. Ubong threw himself prostrate on the ground, giving thanks, his body shaking with emotion. Some in the crowd were still unsure, looking around, nervously, as if lightning might strike them or any form of misfortune might happen. But others, especially the women, were equally smiling now through tears, thankful that the slaughter had been averted. The tension of centuries had been broken, if only tentatively. Mary Slessor looked around at the villagers and spoke to them. Softly now, you have done the right thing today. I promise you, no harm will befall you because of these twins. Instead, great blessings will come. Her face was bright with gratitude and triumph. She believed deeply that God's love will cover this village for their compassion. That night, Mary Slessor, true to her word, stayed in Ubong's compound with the family. She insisted on helping Teacher Okon's wife tend to Ekanem and the twins, while Ubong's mother cooked herbal broth to restore Ekanem's strength. Mary held the baby girl in her arms for hours, humming Scottish lullabies, mingled with epic tunes. Ubong sat close by Ekanem's side, gently rocking their baby boy. A handful of village youths volunteered to stand guard around the compound until morning, partly out of precaution in case any die-hard traditionalist tried to snatch the babies in the night, and partly out of newfound protectiveness for the family. Outside, under the vast African sky, elders and chiefs gathered at the meeting house late into the night. The events of the day had shaken them. They debated and argued, some still fearful that not performing the sacrifice will anger the gods. Others pointed out that if Mary's God was protecting her, maybe their fears were unfounded. Teacher Okon was invited to speak to them, and with patience and wisdom, he explained how many of these beliefs about twins were mere superstition, not actual messages from the gods. He shared examples he had learned from Mary and others, or other tribes who once feared twins but abandoned this practice without any disaster happening to them. Teacher Okon's reason and Mary's evident courage gradually eroded the elders' resistance. By the time rooster crowed at dawn, the Council of Elders had reached a historic decision. No twin in Okoyong will ever again be harmed or abandoned. They will declare that the gods had given a new instruction through signs to save face. They phrased it as if it were divine revelation rather than purely human wisdom. The next morning, as the sun's first rays broke over the trees, painting the village in gold, the elders returned to Ubong's compound, this time not as threats, but as formal witnesses to bless what they once sought to curse. The oldest chief present leaned on a staff, addressed Ubong and Ekanem, who sat outside their hut, with the twins in their arms and Mary by their side. In a solemn tone, he said, "We have consulted and watched through the night. No calamity had befallen us. It is clear that these children are not evil, but are children like any other. The gods have not struck anyone down. Indeed, the sky is clear and the morning beautiful." He managed a smile and continued, "Therefore, we the elders say that these twins shall live and be accepted in Okoye." A collective exhale of joy rose from all who had gathered to hear the announcement. Ekanem broke into a grateful smile, tears streaming. Ubong bowed his head over his babies, silently crying in relief. The chief raised his voice a little louder, addressing the whole community now. "From this day forth, let it be known, twins and children like any other, gifts from the gods, any harm to them is forbidden." This was unprecedented in the town of Okoye. A new law overriding the old murmurs of approval and claps erupted amongst the villagers present. Mary Slezor clasped Ekanem's hands tightly, joy evident on her face. Teacher Okon, standing amongst the elders, closed his eyes for a moment in silent thanks to God and to the wisdom that had prevailed. The transformation in the atmosphere was palpable. Women who had lost twins in years past came forward to embrace Ekanem, both rejoicing with her and weeping for what they themselves had lost. Ekanem hugged them, offering comfort. She became, in a way, a symbol of all mothers. Her victory was theirs too. Even the elders who had first demanded the sacrifice approached the family now. He gently touched the heads of the babies, a gesture of acceptance. "Forgive me," he whispered. Voice choked. "I acted out of fear." Ubong, gracious in triumph, clasped the elder's hands. "There is nothing to forgive, elder. Today, we are all free from that fear." Mary Slezor handed the baby girl back to Ubong, making sure father held daughter and mother held son. And then she addressed the crowd one last time. "You see, my friends, when love triumphs over fear, the roots of the trees are strong and its branches will flourish," she said, evoking the earlier proverb in a positive light. "Today, you have saved 2 lives and changed countless others that will follow. This village will be remembered for its courage and compassion." The people cheered softly so as not to startle the infants and ululated in celebration. And so it was that in the village of Okoye, a long dark night of superstition ended and a new dawn of hope and enlightenment began. That day, Ekanem and Ubong named their twins. The boy they named Idara, meaning joy, for he brought joy after long sorrow. The girl they named Isika, meaning time, for in time everything had been made beautiful, and the dark time of fear ended with her birth. The names were announced and applauded. Teacher Okon joked to the crowd, "See how 2 have brought us together. Truly, rain does not fall on one roof alone." And in this blessing, we all share. Laughter and agreement followed. Even those who had been uncertain now felt pride in their collective change of hearts. That evening, the village threw another feast, this time even more meaningful. More meaningful than the one they had when Ekanem first became pregnant. It wasn't just a celebration for a birth, but for the rebirth of a community spirit. Pounded yam, pepper soup, and palm wine flowed freely. Elders and youth sat together, something that rarely happened except on special occasions. It spoke of the day's event with wonder, as if a spell had been broken. Many marveled at the bravery of Ubong and Ekanem. The children, too young to grasp the full story, chased each other around singing songs, while their parents watched with gratitude that their futures will be brighter and free of this particular fear. In the center of the gathering, Mary Slezor sat with Idara on her lap and Insikan in Ekanem's arms. Mary's eyes were soft as she looked at the twins. Ekanem said quietly to her, "Ma, how can we ever thank you?" Mary shook her head and smiled. "It is I who should thank you, Ekanem. You allowed me to fight for you. You showed great courage, a mother's love as fierce as a lioness." And Ubong, she turned to the father. "You broke the chain. Because of you, no father will ever have to give up his twins here again." Ubong felt a swell of pride and humility. "I nearly lost my wits," he admitted. "If it weren't for Teacher Okon and you, Ma, I don't know if I could have stood my ground alone." Teacher Okon, hearing his name, chuckled and patted Ubong's shoulders. "The gods, oh God, works in mysterious ways. Perhaps it was ordained that your family will be the example to save many others." In our Efik tongue, we have a saying, "The dumbest of wisdom may sound faint, but it is heard by those who listen." You listened, my son, to wisdom over fear, and now we all dance to the drum beats. Night deepened, and one by one, the villagers returned to their homes. Hearts light, Ekanem and Ubong laid in their huts with their 2 infant children between them. The warm glow of the earth illuminating the peaceful scene. They were exhausted, but it was the sweetest exhaustion. Ekanem gently stroked her daughter's cheeks and then her sons, marveling at their tiny faces. She could hardly believe how they have turned out. What started as the most terrifying ordeal had ended in a miracle for the whole community. Ubong watched his wife and children with deep love. His hand found Ekanem's and they exchanged a silent look, filled with gratitude. They needed no words. Their hearts spoke volumes in the quiet. And so, as the proverb says, a lie may go for 100 years, but the truth caught up with the lie in the story of Ubong and Ekanem. I hope you have enjoyed listening and watching the episode of Babaenibaba. I remain Babaenibaba, the master storyteller of Nigeria land. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let's see your comments, your views, and your likes in the comment section, of course, and we will get back to you on the next episode of Babaenibaba. Until then, my name is Babaenibaba. Bye for now.